how to apply spectral content on an orchestral piece. Let's say you have an orchestral piece like this one in Opusmodus notation. Instrument by instrument. The score definition. So in Opusmodus, if you evaluate the score, you will get the notation. Now let's apply to this orchestral section the spectra of sound. For this example, I will use the Marangona bell sound because this sound analysis from Spear is already in by default in Opusmodus, into Opusmodus. So to apply a spectra to the full orchestra, Opusmodus have a function Tonality-map, very efficient. But first, let's import a spectra. So we will create the variable frames1. We use the function library and we go to the library to get the Marangona frames, and we will collect the frames number 0, 6, 12 and 18. 3 time frames. You can graph it if you wish. You get something like that. This is our spectral content. Now we have to extract some pitch field, to be able to apply this to our orchestral piece. So we'll create a second variable, pfields1, and we will use the function partial with the pitch parameter, and we will extract the pitch from frame 1. Actually, the quantization is on semitone, but you can use quarter tone and atone as well. As you can see, if I evaluate just that part, I get the pitch from this set of 4 partials and frames. As you can see, there is a lot of repetition. So I can map car on each list. I can apply the function find unique. So it will reduce a lot of the size of my list. So now it's better. And to be sure it could be played by Opusmodus, maybe constrained to ambitus of a piano. And finally put it in the variable pfields1. So if you look at it, yeah, you see, that's the 4 harmonic fields, harmonic spectra. To apply this p field, we have to chordize them. So I create a new variable, chords pf1, and I use the function chordize to chordize these chords. To chordize this content, sorry. Naturally, this is seem a bit too rich. A good thing would be to filtering the partial by amplitude, just to keep the most important one. Let's do a second version. That's the same things, ambitus piano for the playability, reduce the number by removing the duplicate with mapCarFin unique using the partial function. But as you can see, the difference is here. For frame 1, I use frame 1 but encapsulated in remove partial. And I remove partial who have an amplitude how to say less than this parameter. So if I evaluate this, I will get much less value because we're filtering by amplitude. So you remember when we look at the partial, we get a lot of values. Now with remove partial, keeping only the most prominent ones, we get much less value. Now if you look the resulting chord, partial, you get and chordize them. So comparing to what we made before, this is much better. Naturally, if you want more partial, you can tweak that value. So let's say something like that. As you can see, we get more pitches. Now, how to apply these chords? To apply these chords, we have to prepare the harmonic mapping. So I create first a path 1 with the basic chords PF1, that's chords, with the function tonality series. And the second path with filtered chords. We need also to control the harmonic rhythm. So I prepare a list. You see whole note, so 2 whole notes, so it's 8 beats. And 16 bits. So it's 2 bar and 4 bar long for the harmonic rhythms, and it will loop on this harmonic rhythm. Now we have to remap all this pitch. So using Tonality-map. So I will use that harmonic path. So my main harmonic path will be path 2. We define here, but I could use the 1 as well. But I want to use the path 2 as harmonic path. And now for each instrument, I use Tonality-map. I pass the harmonic path, that one, apply to the instrument according to the harmonic rhythm. So now, let's try, you remember our score? Now let's apply this Marangona spectra on it. Yeah, tonality-map, applying the spectra. Building the score. Harmonic rhythm, and now for 4 bar, second chord, still the second chord, third chord for 2 bar, first chord for 4 bar, and so on. Naturally, you could use quarter tone if you want. Actually, we use that. Partials, but we can use it with quarter tone like that. As you can see, we have quarter tone. And if we listen the chords, and apply that spectra as well on our score. That's all for today. To learn more about music composition with Opusmodus and particularly for orchestra, there is a new course designing generative orchestral template with Opusmodus. You will find the link in description. Goodbye.